morning! It's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and I'm back today with Ask Me Anything About Job Hunting. And I've got a bunch of questions, I think it's 10 in total, that I've received that I thought I would answer in one aggregate so that, well, frankly, I don't want to get backed up and people have a request for information. So uh, here, let me start off with the first question and get to it, okay? When negotiating with a recruiter, I was told there's no wiggle room now, but they see me to be quickly promoted, but want me to join in the current position and grow into the role. Here's the key part. Are recruiters serious when making statements like that? So I want to start off by saying I don't know if this is a corporate recruiter or an agency recruiter. But I will say one thing. They're conning you right now. They're lying. They have no idea. They may see you that way, but it's kind of like flirting with you a little bit, trying to persuade you not to worry about this little thing, this little impediment, because you're going to do great. I really believe you're going to do great. Okay, what do they know? Seriously, what do they know? And thus, this is part of the con, whether you're a corporate recruiter or an agency recruiter, that's designed to stroke your ego and manipulate you into joining. You can't take that seriously. You have to delete these remarks because they're completely irrelevant. You join, your manager assigns you some crappy work, things suddenly change, right? You're not particularly interested in the work. Are you going to grow quickly? I don't think so. So I would say, no, they're not serious about this. Question number 2. When interviewers ask, what type of questions do you have for us? Is it offensive to ask why the position became vacant in the first place? No, it's information. I wouldn't start with that question. I would ask clarifying questions about the job. And I have other questions I tell people to ask much that I think are more valuable than this one. But I think fundamentally it's appropriate for you to ask what happened to the last person who sat in that chair, who did this work that prompted them to leave. Now you may find out that this is a newly created position. Great. They may say to you, well, they went to a better opportunity than this one, or they got recruited to another firm. Do you have any idea why that became more of an enticement than this role? Did they do an exit interview where you could share information? You see, those kind of answers that companies give, well, they don't really say anything, right? Well, they left for a better opportunity. What made it a better opportunity than this one? Well, they were suddenly going to do this. They learned a lot here and they went to the next place. What sort of things did they learn here? And thus, that becomes the interesting thing, not the answer to the question. The answer to the question is going to be corporate fluff. But the follow-up question is really the most important part. Number 3, I have been excluded from job interviews 25 times. What should I do now? Now, I don't know what excluded means here. I suspect it means turned down from job interviews. So what should you do now? Practice interviewing. You're obviously not good at it. And as such, by now you should see that there's a common pattern in the interviews that you should be prepared for. Now, if you're, I don't know what field you're in, but you're being asked questions pretty regularly, like, tell me about yourself. You're asked the questions about the work that you did, right? All of the questions by this point, they may be languaged a little bit differently, but fundamentally they kind of look the same. Get ready and practice answering. And I don't mean thinking the answer, I mean speaking the answer, so that you finally get good at interviews. Buddy up with someone. Hire a coach. I'm available. And I'll just say, If you want interview coaching, go to my website, thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot of information there. Plus, you can schedule time for a free discovery call. So let's get going with question number 4. Why do some job listings say great for applicants with limited experience or gaps in their resume when they actually want someone with experience? Don't they care it'll only make them get tons of resumes from unqualified people? I don't think they're worried about that. I think they need a large pool of individuals, and the description that they're offering of people with limited experience and gaps in their resume, well, these are not exactly considered desirable people. I have a hunch this might be a sales job. I hope it's not a scam, but you have to look at it from the standpoint of what they're saying with this description. We want people that others might not want. It's okay to apply to us. We want you. And thus, it begs the question, what kind of job will this person be doing for which a person with very limited experience or a gap in their resume, which is judged here as not being good, suddenly is good? Next question. If an interviewer calls your references, how likely are you to get the job? Pretty good odds. It's pretty good odds, but there's still no guarantee. We don't know what your references might actually say. If your references say things that are not flattering to you, you're not getting the job. Well, again, a lot of people don't prepare their references for the phone call or for the review of the person's background, and thus suddenly they're not going to get an offer. I remember one person I represented who did very well on interviews, and this client asked me to background check for them, and they gave me a questionnaire for review. And I listened to what people said, and boy, it was awful. Absolutely awful. Would this person be eligible for rehire? Not in a million years. I couldn't recommend this individual. It was awful. So I'll simply say, what does it mean? It probably means you're getting an offer, but there is no guarantee. Next question. I was offered a job through email and I accepted it, but they still haven't responded a week later. Should I call or wait until they get back to me? Call immediately. Call immediately. Now, one piece of data I don't have here is how long it took you to accept the offer. Sometimes people are in this position and frankly, they wait 2 weeks to respond, and at least in the U.S., that's not likely to result in you being hired. Normally, at most, it's 1 week. And if you didn't communicate from the time they received the offer until the time you accepted, they may have rescinded the offer. But I'll just simply say, let's assume you did things in a reasonable way. You responded in a day or two. After telling them I'd like a little bit of time to think about it, and now they're not responding, I would call immediately and say, I received your offer. I have accepted by email just like you extended the offer through email. I haven't heard anything back yet. Bring me up to date on what's going on. And that should solve the problem. Let's go to the next question. This is a good one. What does it mean when a company you apply to sends out an employment application before an interview? It means they want you to fill out the application before the interview and not have to sit in the reception area doing it. You know, they view it as being considerate of you, and thus you can do it at your convenience wherever you are and bring it with you to the interview. So they consider it a good thing. Other than that, other than offering you the convenience of doing it when you like, there's no other meaning to it. Is one more likely to find a new and better job through a recruiter rather than doing it on their own? Why or why not? I worked as a recruiter for more than 40 years. I filled more than 1,200 full-time positions plus consulting assignments. So I know recruiters can help. I know I helped, and I know many others who are very good. But is one more likely than the other? Statistics say less likely. And I'll just share the statistics as I do all the time. 70% of positions are filled as a result of networking. 70% of the 70%, or 49%, come as a result of introductions to people who your network knows who you don't. LinkedIn says the number that's filled through networking is even higher. I've got to take their statistics with a grain of salt because they have a vested interest. I don't care. I'm a coach. I'm not a recruiter anymore. But if you go to the other 30%, the 30% that's not involved with networking, it's broken down to recruiters and job boards. Some recruiters, many recruiters, use job boards. You may define LinkedIn as a job board. Many do. And thus, the number between the two of them combined is 30%. As a result, if you just do the math, more than twice as many jobs are filled through networking. Doesn't mean you shouldn't use recruiters, but you're cutting off almost 3/4 of the possibilities by not doing networking. Not every company is giving out every job to recruiters. Many of them want to fill it on their own without recruiters. All those firms are closed to you if you only work with a search firm. So you've got to get out there and talk to folks who you know, like, trust, and respect, and feel the same about you, as well as doing recruiters. You get out to those folks because they may have relationships where they can provide an introduction that leads to an offer. But I'll simply say, to answer the question, is it better? Are you more likely to get a job on your own than through a recruiter? The answer is yes, you're more likely to do it without a recruiter. 2 more questions. Do an estimated 80% of available jobs never get posted or advertised? I don't know. What difference does it make? Not everyone is going to pay to post a position or advertise their job. Maybe they put it on a website. Maybe they contact a recruiter and they don't want to have it posted because they're afraid of getting inundated. There are lots of alternatives than to pay to have an open job posted somewhere, to have themselves inundated with responses. I know, again, in the early days of my recruiting experience, the issue used to be, should we run an ad in the newspaper and get flooded with resumes of people who aren't qualified? Now, with job boards and with the internet, it's even easier. And as such, it could be 80%, but if it's 70%, what difference does it make, right? The real question is, can you get to the right job that fits for you? And the statistics are, if you work with recruiters, if you work through your network, if you use all the avenues open to you, including having a great LinkedIn profile, you're more likely to find a position. Lastly, I accepted a job offer and I'm going to start in 5 days. Today I got a better offer. Should I tell the new company that I accepted an offer before? Will they be able to find out by conducting a background check? I don't think you should contact the new firm before. Let's assume you're accepting an offer there and not just simply going through this as an exercise. You received and accepted an offer. You've now gotten a better offer that you want to take. Just accept the offer and go from there. They're not going to be able to find it out in a background check. It's not going to be exposed. You were never an employee at this organization. As a result, no issue whatsoever. I hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me, visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you. I also want to mention, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, at the site, there's a button that says schedule. Schedule time for a free discovery call. schedule time for coaching, for which I'll obviously charge you. I would love to help. Lastly, if you want to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, click the small icon in the lower right or the picture of me in the upper left. You'll get notified whenever I release something new. And you can watch me on TV, by the way. If you have a Fire TV, a Fire Stick, download the JobSearchTV app and you can watch me there, or on Apple TV, Roku, Sony, Samsung, like 90 other sets. You can watch me on an app called bingenetworks.tv. I think you'd enjoy me, right? You'd enjoy me, right? Have a great day and take care.